Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 19th to the 25th of May 2025. So we begin this week with the Sun conjunct Uranus. This is a once a year event, and we're on the last stretch of Taurus with Uranus, who moves into Gemini in early July and then retrogrades back into Taurus for the end of the year. So the basic combination of the Sun and Uranus is like light and electricity. Very vibrant, very quick, very sparky, very bright, and can bring in new ideas or quick change. Unexpected often, visionary sometimes. So the week begins with those energies, can play out on the world stage, so there might be some surprises or twists and turns in the story. But a great time to tune in to your own inspiration, see if you can change your mind and expand your perspective. By the 21st, the Sun moves into Gemini, so we begin the month of Gemini, and with so much fire and air energy that we've spoken about before this year, everything seems really bright and quick, dynamic and active. So I don't think this will be a Gemini month like any other, as we have the outer planets harmonically lining up in other air and complementary fire signs. So we enter the month of Gemini, which takes us up to the summer solstice around the 21st to the 24th of June, and the Sun gains its maximum height in the sky, the longest daylight hours. So the theme is light, energy, freshness, reaching the heights. With Gemini, we're looking at the mind, how we think, how we communicate, how that then manifests into our own reality, and whether anything needs changing in order that we can create the best world for ourselves. By the 24th, the Sun trines with Pluto. So Pluto's at the beginning degrees of Aquarius, so the Sun harmonising with Pluto does open the doorway to bring in some of the bigger changes that Pluto represents: transmutation, a new stage in our 26,000 year cycle, entering the spring of the great year. So very positive energy there, the Sun reaching its heights, Pluto opening the door to the age of Aquarius, and both making a harmonic angle by the end of the week. And then by the 25th we have Saturn moving into Aries. So yet another planet, beginning of a cycle. Now it's Saturn's turn. So we've spoke about this before. Neptune came into Aries, starting a new spiritual cycle. We had to clean our vessel and hold still to receive some of the newer high vibrational energies. And now Saturn will be able to come in and anchor those energies in. This will be a time when we can become our true selves, embody our true frequency, radiate that, and start to manifest with it and put our higher plans into structure and productivity. So this is a piece of the pie that we've been waiting for, yet another outer planet lining up in harmony, bringing in some very new energy. And when Uranus does step into Gemini at the beginning of July, that's all the outer planets starting new cycles. So it's been a slow start to the year, everything rinsing out in Pisces through January, February and March, and then some new signs of life with Neptune during April, and a sense of nourishing the soil and resting up for most of May. But as Saturn does move into Aries, just to touch on the first degree before it retrogrades as well at the end of the year, we get a glimpse of what it is that we are, what it is that we're here for, sense of purpose, direction and productivity. So a very big week, most things happening in the outer planets, gently preparing us step by step for a whole new way of living. With Uranus and Saturn we do get the retrogrades later, so this is just a glimpse, but by next year we'll have Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn all aligned in fire and air signs, lighting the way ahead. So it's all very exciting. It's worth going back to see what your plans were in October before we had the Mars retrograde, and see how much they've changed now, how much more soulful and spiritual and higher consciousness, higher perspective our view of life is, and therefore what we want to put our valuable time, talent and energy towards. With retrogrades we get the opportunity to change our mind and come out the other side with a much higher perspective. So really, as we wait for Saturn to tip over the equinox point into Aries, this week is best spent in reflection, tuning in to how different you feel, how your body energy feels different, how your view of self has transformed and risen. Can keep an eye on what it is that we do want to put our time, talent and energy towards, our sense of purpose and action, but also have a reflective on how much we've changed, what we've rinsed off and left behind, and how much we're gaining as a result of that. So if you'd like to see where this is happening for you, I am available, zoehind7@gmail.com, for astrology, tarot, readings, courses and coaching. You can find my videos on YouTube, Zoe Astro, Instagram, zoehind7, and Facebook, Astro Zoe. So one more week to reflect, to rinse, to rise. Some very big harmonics with the Sun meeting with Uranus, moving into Gemini, and trining with Pluto. It's a very solar week. So we're reaching our heights now, and from the heights we have greater perspective, can see the bigger picture. So grow with the light, nurture the light within, and take some time to tune in to your higher frequency and your higher purpose before Saturn comes to help to lock that in at the end of the week. So wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.